I mean, not to sound like cliche, but like, it's my generation's job to mop up whatever you guys did to it up, so. Okay, no, okay. Let me say that again. I feel like it's our job to kind of gauge the problems in the world and see how we can make it better. As a kid, I always said that I wanted to grow up and do a job that would change the world, but I had no idea what that meant. I wanted to do something that was important to me. I thought that naturally it should be easy because I was a boy and I wanted to do good. How hard could that be? It's hard to know where to start this story. Could start with baseball, or my bar mitzvah.
Let's see if we can all come up with the countries that are in the first world.
Or world politics. Or even with Cuba. But actually, I think I'll start with my grandpa. Grandpa has always been the cool, older guy. We would always play catch. Those are some of my best memories of childhood. I do think that a lot of my Jewish identity came from my grandparents. They made it clear that Judaism was very important to them. I'm not religious, but I'd always wanted to have a bar mitzvah. It was the beginning of my path to adulthood, even though that sounds corny. You have to kind of earn it by doing something for others. That's how I understood it. Cuba saved my grandfather's life. I wanted to repay a sort of debt. And what better way, thought my 12-year-old self, than to share something with the Cuban people that I care about, that they care about.
Here's Vienna. That's where I was born.
Is that in German, Vienna?
Wien, W-I-E-N, that's the German word for Vienna. And this was one of the little girls in Vienna that I played with. She had an older sister. We used to play by the Danube River. I doubt very much that they survived.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Did you have to wear the yellow star?
Yes, yes. When I was 7 years old, I was pretty much kept in the dark. I just knew that we had to get away from Europe, from Germany, because they were bad people.
Do you remember like what happened when your dad died?
One day he was there, and another day he wasn't. I don't really remember him too well. We had to go, we had to get away. The port that we left from was right here, a town called Vigo. We actually landed in Cuba the end of November. Pearl Harbor was bombed in 1941, December 7th. And at that point, the United States government closed up all their borders. They didn't allow anybody in or out of the country.
Yeah.
Until, things started settling down. So we lived in Cuba for 2 years.
Once you got to Cuba, did being Jewish matter?
No.
Not really.
No.
My grandpa told me that when he lived in Cuba, he would see kids playing baseball everywhere with mitts made of cardboard and balls made of rocks wrapped in tape or rags. The bats were just sticks. After my bar mitzvah, we came home and there was this big bucket of baseball equipment. And that's when I realized I really have to do this.
Hey Leslie, this is Mica, the 7th grader with the community service project that I'm gonna send baseball equipment down to Cuba. Anyways, the project's rolling now because my science fair is done, so I can really focus on this. If you could just call me back or email me, it would just be great to stay in touch because I have a lot of stuff and I'm really eager to get it down to Cuba.
So I was wondering if you guys would be willing to donate any equipment to me. Anything that you might have that's related to baseball, like bats, balls, mitts, hats. It's great.
Yeah, these are all softball here.
My synagogue, they make every kid has a bar mitzvah do a community service project along with it, showing that they're growing up and in the community. And so I love baseball. I've played it for pretty much my whole life. And I thought, it'd be great to just help them kids out who love baseball too, but they just don't have the resources.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if we could just support them, I might be supporting future major leaguers.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The commander says you cannot send package to Cuba. I don't know why.
As a 13-year-old, I couldn't fathom the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba and the snafu that would follow.
I don't think we can send it by UPS. It's a country under sanctions by the United States. We don't have open trade with them, just like Iraq.
Cuba is a totalitarian police state which relies on repressive methods to maintain control. U.S. Treasury, sanction program summaries. Oy. Canada has maintained consistently cordial relations. See if Cuba's here. Congo, Democratic Republic, Cook Islands, Garcia, Costa Rica, Cote d'Ivoire.
It was just an idea.
Cuba!
What if we go to Canada? What if we have a road trip and send some equipment down? And I thought, oh, it sounds wonderful, but we're not going to do it. I think if I were in a different family, it would have been strange. It would be a bigger deal.
I didn't care them.
But my family is strange.
Can I send these 3 boxes to Cuba?
Sure. So probably around 10 business days, but depends on their parcel service on the other side. Give it 2 weeks at least.
Great.
Oh my God!
I felt good that I'd set a goal and accomplished something. But I started to understand how complex the world was and how complex my project was. One of them has been accepted. The other 3 are getting processed. So, they're still in Canada. They haven't left yet. No more updates. No more news. All of them know is that they've left Canada. They don't know where it is. When you decide to find...
Somebody, come on. Somebody.
You gotta open wide.
Thank you for calling Canada Post. Merci d'avoir appelé Poste Canada.
So I sent a couple packages from Vancouver about 6 months ago, and I sent them to Cuba, and I haven't seen that they've gotten there. Dear customer, I'd like to thank you for contacting Canada Post about the item. I said, by the way, we weren't able to find anything, but in case you wanted to have a personal investigation for the packages, which they already promised when I was on the phone with them, you're gonna have to fill out these forms or whatever. And I was like, this, like honestly, it's not worth it. I felt bad because I thought, well, it's over now. I lost. What's the point? I'm trying so hard and it's not yielding much success, and I didn't want to put so much effort out there for no reason. So I kind of convinced myself to just give up. I don't even know. I wanna be able to make a difference, but also just have like a regular life, I guess.
Truth is, I don't really know where I'm going with this. Just a few notes on this guitar and I'm through. Truth is, people always say that they're gonna be okay, but you never really know.
I felt almost personally offended that the project was so difficult. The project was just a part of my life. I had schoolwork going on, I had piano lessons, sports. It was easy to get caught up in them.
Gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
It was always like in the back of my mind somewhere, my project. My parents were saying, Micah, if you want to do this, now's the time. I thought it'd be such a lame way to end right here. I don't want to be the guy who's just making excuses. We can't just sit idly by and let someone else, solve their problems for us. We have to do it ourselves. It was just about that moment of deciding, yes, I'm gonna do it. And that was the turning point. $1 for each ball? Yep. All right.
and a cup. Cool. Their name on it, in case anyone was wondering. Alright. And then we found this organization. Every year they collect computers, bicycles, wheelchairs, medical equipment for Cuba.
And tell me what it is.
Bats.
Bats.
Baseball bats.
Okay.
So 64?
64. As wonderful as this aid is, in an island of 11.5 million people, it's not much. It's sort of a drop in the bucket.
But but you know, any help counts, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, we keep doing our thing.
Have you been down there by yourself without the caravan?
I have a number of times, yeah.
So, how'd you do it?
You know, it's easy. You just go down. I go either through Mexico City or Cancun.
Then you fly from Cancun to Cuba?
To Havana. When you come back, a number of times I haven't been hassled at all. Sometimes they say, don't you know you're not supposed to go to Cuba? They try to fine you. But if you say, no, I'm not going to pay the fine, and please speak to my lawyer from now on, they have never, nobody who has protested has ever paid a nickel in fines.
So then the travel ban is just kind of for show.
It is, and it works because a lot of people are very intimidated by it, but a lot of people do go. But something like 160,000 U.S. citizens a year go down without licenses.
If you go to Cuba, you'll see everybody playing baseball, where they might just be playing with a rag ball and a stick, a broomstick. That's how I learned how to play baseball. And no mitts, just using their hands. They're not able to buy baseballs. Let's say a baseball is made in Germany. If the string that's used in sewing that baseball is American, Germany cannot sell those baseballs to Cuba.
Because of the embargo?
Yeah.
This whole time I had been collecting equipment and giving it to this place that I essentially knew nothing about.
This one's kind of heavier. It's got like...
I thought that the project wouldn't be finished if I did not get to go to Cuba.
I want to, see the kids playing baseball. I want to experience the culture. I want to, go to Carnival and eat their food and meet the kids and play with them.
Times you laughed and you meant it. Here's a song to every little thing you said. Here's to yes, here's to no, here's to maybe. Hold your breath, then count to 3. And don't rely on shooting stars, rely on me. And if you feel sad, promise not because it fogs up the image when I watch movies in your eyes.
So there's Florida, and there's Cuba. And in 1898, they got their independence, and who helped them get their independence?
It's the U.S.
Yeah. Cuba, in many ways, is the most important country in Latin America in terms of the Cold War. Beginning of 1959, the guerrillas took over the city of Havana, and at that point, they had control of the country. They created an alliance with the USSR, and Fidel Castro started nationalizing industries and saying this now belongs to Cuba, not to foreigners. And that got him in a lot of hot water with the United States. Now, one of the things the United States did is they tried to hurt Cuba economically. Cuban sugar, Cuban cigars are illegal in the United States. Why can't we buy Cuban stuff? Okay?
Would we be supporting their economy?
Yeah, we'd help their economy. Do we have relations with China? But wait, China's communist. Do we buy anything from China? So we buy things from some communist countries, but not from Cuba. And in fact, it's very hard for Americans actually to go to Cuba. They don't want you to go there, even today.
There are two basic ways to get to Cuba, or actually three. One is illegal. The other two are legal.
Right.
The two legal ways to get to Cuba are with a general license or a specific license, which are issued by the Office of Foreign Assets Control, part of the Department of the Treasury. I mean, you can go to the middle of Libya right now, and you don't have to go through all of this.
How about Iraq?
You can, no country, I mean, there are limits. In here, you have sanctions and all that for other countries where you're required to, go through certain steps before you transact business. But as far as a free travel to go to another country, Cuba's sort of in its own league. Frankly, it's a maze, it's a labyrinth. There are all these multiple departments in the State Department that pass judgment on the application.
So do you think we'll get to go to Cuba?
I don't know.
Dear Mr. Jarmel Schneider, I had had my staff review your letter about the difficulties you are having with the United States Department of the Treasury, and I will try to do all that I can to help. Sincerely, Leon Feinstein, United States Senator. The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control prohibits all persons subject to the jurisdiction of the United States from dealing in property in which Cuba or a Cuban national has an interest.
This is from another person who does Cuba work. Unfortunately, what should be the simplest thing in the world is immensely complicated. You might think about taking it to Haiti. Frankly, there's more need in Haiti than in Cuba.
Hello. Hey, Manolo.
Hey, Mica. How you doing?
Good. How was your summer?
The caravan was just very exciting. You sort of never know what to expect. Border Patrol, customs officials did take 5 Pentium 3 computers.
Right, yeah, I remember. I read an article about that. Yeah.
Everything else crossed safely. It's exciting because your baseball equipment got sort of separated and went to a lot of different places, actually.
Really?
There are a couple of churches that received some baseball equipment.
Nice.
There was a school that received the baseball equipment.
Nice. Yeah.
There was even a hospital that received baseball equipment for the children there.
Wow. And the packages from Canada, were they there when you got down there? Yeah. I figured as much. And I mean, I'm collecting more baseball equipment all the time. I still have a couple of gift cards that I can spend to buy equipment.
I think the definite experience will be you actually being there.
I really want to go. And my parents, they could have gone just by themselves because they're journalists and they can get the journalist permit. But as a family, I'm going to see if we could get a humanitarian aid permit or something.
We've been going to Cuba for the last 20 years without licenses because we just simply don't believe in them. There are also, your chance to challenge this law.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
already challenged it by sending this aid.
Eventually, there was loosening of restrictions by President Obama. And so my parents sat me and my brother down and said that this was the gray area and there might be some consequences. But the lawyer said it would be okay for us to go. I was full of gusto and really excited to do it. I thought it's gonna be great. Grandpa's gonna love it. He'll come to Cuba with us. It was all very picturesque and movie-like in my mind.
I don't know. Maybe my reluctance to go perhaps is more of a fear or apprehension about going someplace that my government wouldn't want me to go. That has maybe painted an image of danger. So I think that's why I kind of put it out of my mind. Not for any unpleasant memories or anything like that. I'd rather go skiing with you guys. And, all of us, frankly, be more fun, I thought.
You have any concerns about our going?
Some.
Are you afraid we're gonna get, like, stopped or something?
Yeah, yeah. You know, you read things in the paper, you hear horror stories. You can't help but think of things like that, I think.
I think it'd be great to go there with you. But, you know, whatever's best for you.
Whose turn is it?
He might have taken it as us blaming him for not coming. But I think it's important for him to know that we really care about that part of his history, of my history, of Daddy's history. And that we're kind of trying to rediscover part of what he had there. So we flew from Mexico. As I was on the plane, I thought, you know, this is it. This is the first time anyone in our family has returned.
Mica.
It kind of felt like we were in a time machine. I could see my grandpa's little kid there, and it was cool.
El arbitraje criminal. Casaña tiene 80 años, yo tengo 50, Casaña. Y yo era un niño y Casaña era Casaña ya.
El árbitro tiene que darse a respetar. Me equivoqué, pero yo soy el árbitro. Y le duele ver eso.
Si es capitalismo, lo matan a la salida del estadio. Los dos mejores equipos de Cuba, de Santiago Industriales, todos han ido.
Yo no sigo la pelota de Grandes Ligas ni me interesa tampoco. Mi pelota es esta. Pero coño.
Mira, él está. Oye, hable con él. Él está.
Venga, un momentico, pare.
¿Qué? ¿Pero qué quiere saber él?
Conoce los jugadores, de los pelotones cubanos del pasado.
Sí, ¿cómo no?
Que han jugado en los Estados Unidos.
Sí, lo que se sabe.
Soy los Versalles.
Claro. MVP.
MVP en 65.
No. Ajá, con los Minnesota.
Sandy Amoros también, ¿o no? ¿Era cubano?
Una gran cogida en una serie mundial, pero esa es la única historia. ¿De dónde son? ¿De qué parte son?
San Francisco.
Ah, San Francisco. Dean Lyscombe, el animal. Ese es mejor que ahora. Dean Lyscombe y no tienen un gran bateador, pero jugaron parejo para la serie mundial. Los dos mejores equipos de ahora.
What do you say?
He thinks the Phillies are the best team.
No, gigantes. Oh my God, he must have spent his like childhood memorizing stuff. Like instead of memorizing Shakespeare, he memorized stats.
Hay candela. La gente brincando y ya tú sabes.
In Cuba, baseball wasn't a game of stars who got paid millions, but players who played because they loved it. It just struck me as being so odd, and juxtaposing it with baseball in America, you would never see a star walking down the street. Mucho gusto.
What's his name?
Is John De Martinez, I think. And he beat Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic in 2006 or something. It's kind of sick, actually.
boleto para entrar a ver un espectáculo deportivo vale $1, usted puede tomarse un refresco, puede comerse una fritura. O sea que el pueblo cubano es muy amante del deporte. Todos los cubanos y todos los que nos visitan. El aficionado cubano tiende a devolver la pelota. Hay unos pocos que se la quedan, porque se ha hecho una campaña nacional por el costo que tiene una pelota. Las pelotas nos cuestan alrededor de $7 cada pelota, porque los Estados Unidos no nos la quieren vender. La tenemos que ir a comprar a Japón, la tenemos que ir a comprar a Asia.
You know, the more you know, the less you know. The more that I learned more about Cuba and America, the more that I saw, the more I wondered how much I actually knew.
Tenemos 2 equipos, industrial y metropolitano. Ese es el sueño de ellos desde pequeños, llegar a esos equipos y más allá al equipo nacional cubano.
Casi todos los cubanos quieren jugar en Grandes Ligas también.
El sueño de todos los peloteros.
Quieren irse para jugar en las Grandes Ligas. Lo que pasa es que aquí no lo vean jugar. Porque aquí hay que jugar aquí nada más. Es mentira. Ojalá y se pudiera ir a jugar y venir para acá y venir a jugar aquí también.
Si se pudiera.
Veo yo, porque es deporte. No tiene nada que ver con política.
Felicitaciones. Felicitaciones.
No English.
I didn't really speak any Spanish. I spoke very basic, como estás, you know, but they made an effort to connect with me and I made an effort to connect with them.
Hola. Él es el padre. Pasen. In the Cuban baseball, what team you prefer?
I like the Industrial.
You like the Industrial. And why? Why do you prefer Industrial?
Because it's Havana.
It's Havana, of course.
There's some Cuban players here, like Zolo.
Soy Lorenzo, yes, I know.
Luis Tion.
Luis Tian, the best. Este fue un gran jugador cubano, muy buen jugador, destacó con los Red Sox.
Ese soy yo en Venezuela y estas son las estadísticas. Este soy yo.
Qué bueno. ¿Quién ganó?
Venezuela, en segundo.
Segundo lugar.
Como position.
Ahí estaba jugando segundo.
Second base.
Second base? Oh.
Mañana te invito a que participes en un juego de pelota contra Plaza en la Coca-Cola.
He's invited you if you want to go.
Yeah, I'd love to.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. But answer in Spanish.
Gracias. Soy
Contento.
Contento, sí, soy contento.
Vamos a jugar ahora contra Dominicana, tercer partido del tope amistoso vamos a ser un equipo fuerte. Acá tenemos a Mica, que es un jugador que viene a apoyarnos a nosotros, a reforzar al equipo. Es jugador, juega jardines y primera base.
the Dominican team. They were perfectly equipped. They had full uniforms and matching shirts and belts and everything. They were legit. But the Cuban team that I was playing with, the champions of Havana, was a little more ragtag. They had good mitts and they had a couple balls and a couple bats, but only one helmet. And so I think that kind of, in a way, justified my choosing of Cuba. They were very generous with me, and they let me play a lot. And it was fun, but I was scared. I didn't want to play badly at all. Afterwards, they talk about Lady Gaga and a lot of pop artists and stuff like that.
You were me, no. Mira, no me enteré, eso está rico. Cuba. Do you like Cuba? Yeah. Sí, mío.
I didn't want to just hand deliver the equipment because I didn't want the kids to think that I thought that I was any better than them. I was afraid that if I delivered the equipment to them, they would think that I just thought I was, the American savior or something. Before we went to Cuba, we asked the synagogue we were in communication with, what should we bring to you guys? And they said, diabetes strips and bagels. It was funny because they were eerily similar to my grandma's friends in mannerisms. And I thought that was cool, that the elders in our communities share a common culture in a common way. Gracias. I did think, seeing the kids in the community, that could have been us.
I think we lived on the second or third floor. Our window overlooked the Prado. The Prado was a beautiful street. Pedestrian walkway in the center with trees and plants.
Visiting my grandpa's old home it transcended what I had any idea of it being. I think Grandpa didn't want to know what it was like. I don't think he feels any connection, which is interesting because ever since I heard the story about coming through Cuba, I always felt that connection pretty strong.
We were fortunate. What if? What if I hadn't gotten out from Germany?
¿Dónde lo vas a poner? En el medio.
We're headed to the Martin Luther King Center to deliver my last bunch of equipment. I think it's the end. This is the culminating of my project. I don't know if my equipment that I sent down from Canada, if it's ever arrived. I really doubt it. Son las donaciones.
Oh.
Patas,
Ajá.
zapatos,
Zapatos también.
bolas, guantes,
¿Así? ¿En la cara?
Can I ask if she ever played?
Ok. Yo soy pelotera.
¿Qué posición?
No, yo no era pelotera. Yo
¿Qué?
conocí el evangelio con un pelotero. Era un pitcher norteamericano.
¿Lanzador?
Sí, Thomas Fine. Vino a jugar a una serie a Cuba. Él era bautista, fue a la iglesia bautista de Artemisa y ahí acepté al Señor para toda mi vida. Después tengo una deuda con el mismo.
Gracias por tu amistad.
Gracias
por su amistad.
Gracias por la amistad de ustedes.
Su trabajo es una inspiración.
Gracias. Michael, ¿es tu nombre?
Mica.
Michael.
Mica.
Michael. Michael, esto es de los campeones de la pelota de los niños que jugaron con los equipos que tú mandaste en el verano. Te lo llevas de recuerdo de los niños cubanos, los peloteritos cubanos. Vamos a ir de aquí, en este momento vamos a ir de aquí a aquí, de Pinal del Río a Camagüey. Y allí en los equipos de béisbol vamos a dejar cosas suficientes en cada lugar para que ellos puedan jugar. Esos son los lugares. ¿Está bien?
Está bien. ¿Recibió las cajas de Canadá?
Sí, sí, sí. Las
¿Sí?
recogí. Esas son las que repartí. Con esto ellos jugaron y ganaron estas medallas. Sí, las de Canadá. Las recibimos todos. Fuimos un grupo grande al correo a buscar las cajas. Sí. Fue muy, muy alegre todo. Y entonces los repartimos en los diferentes equipos de aquí de la ciudad de La Habana.
She received the boxes from Canada and they gave them to a team here.
Sí, sí.
Really?
Todo llegó.
So they actually came after all that. Muy bien, muy bien.
Sí, todo llegó. Sin problema.
That's great. I didn't think it would work. I never thought it was Nobel Peace Prize stuff. It's not the most significant thing that anybody has done, ever. But I think it did help a little bit.
¿Tienes bola?
Wait.
Bola.
Bola? Dad. Yeah, I have one.
Tienen que compartir.
Sí, compartir. Mira, mira cómo juega, vamos a jugar.
Por el equipo, para el equipo.
Que todos están en el equipo. Yes. Que todos no están en el equipo.
No, no, a ella la veo. Mira,
Todo eso para mí, hermano, mi bola. Lázaro. Es mía, esa es mía. Todos trajeron a ti, vamos a hacer esta pelota ahí. Esto es un guante.
No, wait, that we have gloves in the cart, don't we?
¿Dónde usted vive? ¿Usted tiene bate?
¿Bate?
Sí.
Bate.
Guante. Voy. Se meten en el último.
No, mira el guante.
Compartir.
Era yo del guante.
No, vamos. Espera.
Oye, mira yo. Mira, era yo.
A él, le toca a él. Le toca a él. Jason, ¿ese es Jason? La bolsa. Ya.
I think I needed to see that for myself, to see that some of my donations would not be received exactly as I'd wish them to be. And I understand if I was in their position, I would probably do the same. But it was harrowing to see. I was hoping that it wouldn't happen this way. I was playing catch with my dad later on that day. I just want to kind of shake it off. And then one of the kids who we had given a ball to before was just hanging around, and we invited him to play catch. And then we just played catch, and we didn't speak or anything, just playing baseball. But then I realized every time that he caught the ball, he would kind of shake his catching hand, like it hurt and stuff. Okay, para tú. Thank you. Gracias.
De nada.
Gracias. Está bueno, está bueno. Raúl. Está bueno. Gracias. Nada. I feel like there's a lot of things that I learned that brought me out of my innocence. I don't know if we changed anybody's lives, but like I haven't given up hope. Three years ago, I thought that this project would catapult me to manhood. I would automatically be a mensch, a good person, you know? But I know now that that's not how it works. It's all part of the path.
Past changed, or is it just my eyes? I'm leaving things behind. Wandering roads too difficult to take. Look for signs from past. Life still turns and let those turns unfold. But time and breath make space to do and is to start again. To do. To start